The migration of health workers from Uganda to the outside world is a common practice. While some may travel for further training, the discrepancy in the remuneration for professionals in the country is an inducement for many to seek for better opportunities.
In 1950s to 1970s, actually all the health workers, almost all of them, were working here. Why? Because the pay was not bad.
Recently there was a story from Canada. The Canadian doctor' salaries was being increased up, and they said, this is too much, stop, don't increase our salaries anymore. I wish that could be the case here as well. So the Ugandans should know that they should guard very jealously the health workers whom they have. Treat them well, look after them well, so that they look after us well. Otherwise, one of these days, these people, someone is going to spirit them away if they are frustrated and they're not happy here at home.
An agonizing number of medical practitioners leave the country every year and never return, leaving Uganda's sick health sector in dire need, with thousands succumbing to minor illness daily.
We find that in the last 3 years, about 600 doctors have left the country for various reasons. As I said, it's a crude method because you use what we call certificate of good standing, which they come and request from us that they want to leave to go for studies or to do other things. But we know that there's a large number that we do not capture in our data because they just leave.
There are others who go because of better medical infrastructure. Like you have got trained doctors, but they don't have equipment. So they feel they are not doing their job because of that. Now, whatever reason is that take them, it is certainly a loss.
The World Health Organization recently signed a global accord to regulate labor migration of health workers among countries.
Because migration was taking place anyway, and African countries, for 3 years in a row, they went to the World Health Assembly and they complained that developed countries were taking away their health workers. We train them from our own resources, and training them is very expensive. Those people take them and use them without compensation. So African ministers of health in Geneva were asking for compensation, like you pay for a footballer from, I don't know, KCCA to Manchester United or Liverpool. And then it was eventually agreed to develop this code so that the sharing of a global pool of health workers could be coordinated through the code. It provides for the rights of migrating health workers, it provides for the rights of countries from where they come, and it also assigns duties to those countries who take them away to support the countries from where the health workers come.
In the Philippines and many other foreign countries, governments have devised policies that require agencies interested in foreign labor to force to part with a substantial compensation to enable the governments sending health workers to train more professionals to fill in the gaps created as a result of migration of the health workforce.
If you go and benchmark with the Philippines or read reports, they systematically organize and say any nurses that would like to move, you go through this clearing center, even if you have found a job privately, so that we know. They also systematically identify gaps as a government and arrange government to government that, oh, UK, you need so many nurses, which type of nurses? We'll give you 50 nurses or 20 nurses or 30 nurses. And that's arranged by government to government. And so that's one country one can benchmark with.
The system is that when you apply, the company is recruiting, submits the job orders. Then you go through the process. Then you go through the security checks. After the security checks, the people are approved and cleared, and they go to the airport and they go to the countries where they're supposed to go. So that is the system in place. Yeah, and that is the what I would consider the most safe way of doing it. The reason being that when a company recruits you from here, then we know which company has taken you. We know where they have taken you. We know the terms and conditions of your service.
Achest believes that if Uganda observed the WHO Accord, it would create a better business environment for the health workers.
If we plan well, it would be possible to reach, using the WHO code, agreements with the developed countries so that our pool of young people can be trained through a pre-arranged agreement. They go and work there, they come back, another group goes, and therefore then migration of health workers would be in fact almost like a business for the country.
In the last 4 years or so, Uganda signed to agree to implement that World Health Organization code on migration. So they have started documenting now the movements of health workers out of the country. Where are they going, and when did they go, who has gone, but I'm not aware if the government or the country as such has started now having negotiations with those countries where these people go.
We started, I told you, we started with Saudi Arabia, Jordan, now we are going to other countries. And the moment we finish, we are going to make sure that really our people go, work, and get money. And as they remit funds, government has got the way it gains from their remittances. 2, their families also benefit. If I tell you that every month the remittances from those whom we have licensed, who have gone through our license, it's about $6 million per month. Considering our resources now, one would be interested as a country at 2 levels, that we minimize or reduce the number of people who would like to go and work outside, have as many as possible, fill our needs, but it's not 100%. But for those who go, how can we assist them? How can we benefit as a country? So we should have both strategies in place.